And I invite the children to come forward. I love that sound. I love that sound. Oh my.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
It's not me today.
Hello, my darlings. So now it is St. Paul's Story Hour. So anyone who wants to come up for a good story, come on up. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful you all are. Okay, let's see if my name is Miss Vicky. Usually I'm an acrobat, but today I thought I'd just tell a little story to everyone, okay? Is that okay for you? Oh, look, we're both in pink. Okay, so I'm going to tell a little story. Once upon a time, there was a skulk of foxes that lived in a den in the woods. Isn't skulk a great word? Skulk, a skulk of foxes. That's almost as good as murder of crows. See the skulk of foxes? See? All right, now we are going to kind of turn around because we're going to put all these pictures down. Miss Vicky is not an artist, so she tells stories, but she doesn't draw anything. Okay, these woods were full of all kinds of other animals: squirrels, rabbits, snakes, badgers, pheasants, deer, raccoons, tortoises, skunks, crows, woodpeckers, beavers, owls, eagles, wolves, bears, and lots of other animals. There were other skulks of foxes, too. See all the animals that could be in the woods? Look at that, all the animals. Okay, we'll put that one right there. Now, the animals all lived together in the woods the way that animals do. And they were very glad to be there and glad to know that the Almighty Creator loved them and cared for them. Now, the foxes were all red foxes in those parts, and that's what all the animals were used to, including the red foxes. Then one day, a gray fox appeared in the woods. A gray fox, and none of the other animals knew where this gray fox came from, and none of them liked it. They only had red foxes after all, and there was no place in their woods for gray foxes. And the Almighty Creator couldn't have possibly wanted there to be a gray fox in their woods. So the animals got together, and they tried to figure out what to do with this interloper in the woods. The badger, who was always annoyed by these meetings, said they should dye its fur red and be done with it. Then it would look like a red fox. Now, the bear, with his deep, grumbly voice, said they should just eat it. Bears are always hungry. Now, the crow, which had a very shrill voice and talked louder than any of the other animals, said they should just drive it out, get rid of that gray fox. And that's what they did. They drove that gray fox out of their woods. Now, everyone was pretty happy with that, including most of the red foxes. And then they went on living the regular business of living in these beautiful woods where the Almighty Creator took care of them. But then you know what happened? Oh. Another gray fox appeared. In fact, this time there were two of them. And again, none of the animals knew what to do with these gray foxes or where they came from, but they were sure they didn't want them. And they called a meeting. What could they possibly do? There were all kinds of suggestions again, most of them not very nice. And I'll only say this: the bear was still hungry. Okay. Now remember our skulk of red foxes? Remember them? Well, they said, these are foxes like us. They are animals in the woods like all of us. We think they should be allowed to stay. And the red foxes welcomed the two gray foxes into their skulk. Almost none of the animals were happy about that. What if there are more of these gray foxes, the skunk said. I think they're really mean, said the tortoise. I think, and they want to hurt us, the tortoise said. And the other red foxes were talking, and they told the other animals they would take care of this gray fox business. Then they had a conversation with the wolves. Wolves are very, very strong animals, stronger than foxes. And the foxes told the wolves to use all of their power to drive out the entire skulk because it wasn't the kind of skulk that they wanted in their woods. Not a skulk of red and gray foxes. They wanted just red foxes. Now, foxes are very smart animals. And when the red foxes and the gray foxes got together, they're even smarter. And they knew that the Almighty Creator didn't care about fox color. The Almighty Creator cared the same about all the animals. And all the animals should be welcomed in the woods, right? So they had protections and barriers and wrong holes and wrong turns put in their burrows so that the wolves tried and tried and tried and tried to get rid of all of those foxes. And they never could get rid of that skulk of red and gray foxes. They just couldn't do it. And you know what? More gray foxes came because they learned that this special skulk welcomed them. And they would be safe and happy there. And the way the Almighty Creator works with the animals is that in time, the other animals saw that the gray foxes were wonderful animals to have in their woods. And they began to accept them. And they realized that the Almighty Creator makes all animals, and all animals belong in the woods. And that's our story for the day. So thank you all for coming up. And you can all go on to your next project in your activity. And Miss Vicky's going to take off these horribly uncomfortable shoes. Okay?